Right, you're welcome to our channel. This is Tvucc. My name is Louise Bequin. You can call me the PDF. We are back on your screen today with another vetting happening on the land of the University of Cape Coast. This time, guess what? It's no SRC. We're talking about the Graduate Student Association of the University of Cape Coast. The vetting committee is set to interrogate the students who have filed nominations to contest for positions in Grasag. And of course, that explains why Tvucc, we're back on your screen today. You know it, as usual. If you have not subscribed to our channel, this is the time. Should I count 2 seconds? Do that. Hit on that button and later hit on the notification icon so that you would always get alert on update, and do us that favor. I know there are a lot of people, a lot of students who would want to have a feel of what is happening here at the Seminar 3 of the Graduate Student School of Graduate Studies of the University of Cape Coast. Yes, that is where we find ourselves. So if you are around UCC campus, you can join us. School of Graduate Studies of the University of Cape Coast, Seminar Room 3. That is where we are transmitting live from. Keep your comments coming. Let's make it interactive. What do you want to say? Who do you want to say hello to? Maybe you want to even wish somebody happy birthday. I'm ready to read that. Leave that at the comment section. But if you have not subscribed, don't do it. Subscribe first before you do that. Once again, you are welcome. I'm Louise Bequin. You can call me the PDF right away. I am going to engage the chairman for the vetting committee, Mr. Jonathan Dakun. He's ready. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Jonathan.
Yes, sir.
I can't hear you.
Good morning.
You are about to interrogate people. Let me have a feel of that film, because in no time people are going to take the hot seat. It's not yet hot anyway. Sure. I hope you're fine.
I'm good.
How ready are we?
We are ever ready to continue on the session.
How many nominees are we vetting today?
We are looking up for 4 categories. So you have the presidency, 3 aspirants, then the secretary today.
Secretary?
Yes, please.
Oh, is it Eugenia?
Eugenia.
Afi Opare Mayu?
Yes, exactly.
What happened? She's unopposed, contesting unopposed.
I cannot tell, but it seems our members are not interested in the secretary position. And looking at her passion, maybe they felt she should come alone.
They are scared or not interested?
I cannot tell their feelings.
Right, that is a challenge to you as a postgraduate student. We want to hear from you. Why do you think Mayu is contesting unopposed? That will be between me and you. I'll be reading them. That's why I'll hand over to you to continue with the exercise.
Thank you very much. We welcome you all to this session of our vetting. We started yesterday. We had a series of vetting, and today we are continuing with the remaining portfolios. With me are some individuals who are going to help us in this exercise. I mean, the person of Jonathan Dakun, the vetting chair. To my far left, you have Emmanuel Ej, a rep from the Electoral Commission. Then to the ones beside or the right of Emmanuel Ej is our vetting secretary in the person of Annie JC. Right after Annie, that is to my immediate left, is Dr. Justice Efifa, a rep from the Tvucc Trust, which is our hall of affiliation. Then to my immediate right is Dora Kwachoa Aduse, the Deputy Senate Chair. And the last person to my far right is in the person of Benis Okradodu, the Secretary for this noble association. On that note, we welcome you all to this vetting session. In a minute, you have in our midst the Secretary aspirant. So to our viewers, we are having some expectation from our various aspirants, and we are looking at 10 strong areas where you will be scoring, and in the end, they will be assessed based on their potentials and their abilities. So you have in our midst the first candidate. Please have a seat. you are settled, you take this, you test the microphone for us.
Hello. It's working.
On it, then speak through it.
It's on.
I'm not hearing you.
Hello.
All right. So you are welcome.
Thank
In
you.
a minute, you introduce yourself and you tell us why you are here.
Okay, good morning. Thank you very much for this opportunity. The chair, my name is Eugenia Fiopari, affectionately called Mayu. I am a level 800 Master of Philosophy student reading public policy and management in this prestigious university. I am an ardent believer of service in humanity. Reminiscing on the words of Mahatma Gandhi, the best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others. This I have demonstrated by availing myself to serve my colleagues in various leadership capacities. Through it all, one of my greatest achievements, or one that pleasures me so much, is being able to produce a Central Regional contestant for the 2020 Ghana's Most Beautiful Fansima. The chair, today, Friday, 14th of July, 2023, I am here to humbly put myself up for your kindest consideration and validation to become the next Grasag Ucc General Secretary. I hope that at the end of this dialogue, I'll be able to communicate effectively the good plans and intention I have for Grasag Ucc. I also hope that I'll be able to learn new things, unlearn, and importantly, relearn. Thank you.
You're welcome, Miss Eugenia. And to feel at home, it's just an interaction, just you have been always saying. We are just interacting with you to know what we are bringing on board. You don't take offense with any of our conversation, and you expect that you give us accurate answers per your understanding and from your own point of view. You will not want to prolong discussion. If you don't have idea about any of the questions that we are asking or posing, you'll be straight and tell us so that you can move on. We are time bound, so we expect you to bear with us. All right, so you begin with a little investigation of your CV and what you have presented to us. Doing that is Dr. Afrifa.
Hello, Eugenia.
Hello.
You're welcome once again. I don't think this session will take long. In a few minutes, I would want to walk you through your CV on some point I've picked to see how we deal with that. Right, so I'm particularly interested in the project that you did at your bachelor's level, right? You had a research on effect of sports betting on the youth of Cape Coast, Ghana. Could you kindly tell us what you did and then what was the outcome?
Okay, so thank you very much. As you rightly indicated, I did a research on the effect of sports betting on the youth of Cape Coast. The outcome of that research was that indeed there are some effects of sports betting on the youth. However, they do not agree that government should terminate or abolish betting from Ghana. That was the outcome of our research.
All right, and so what is your own recommendation? What do you think when it comes to sports betting and the youth today?
Okay, so some of the recommendations from our research was that we realized that there are people who are not up to 18 years who are engaging in betting, which is illegal. So we recommended that government should put measures in place to ensure that only people who are above 18 years would engage in betting. And then also they should bet responsibly.
All right. I found out that your CV has no page numbers, so probably you should do what to correct that.
Okay, I will do that. Thank you very much.
Right. I also have the impression from your CV that you have a very good command. In fact, it's written good command over Microsoft Suite. And then you list Microsoft Word, Microsoft PowerPoint, and then under that you write good human relation. I don't know how that one fits under the broad topic, good command over Microsoft Suite.
If you did would check um, that one is not part of the Microsoft statistics. It's actually a point on its own. So you see
A
the
point under skills.
yes. So you see the asterisk. That,
But on the Microsoft PowerPoint, could you, if you can, tell me how, once you have, I think you have a good command, how you can, you, the presenter, could be able to access other files or the next slide, whilst the audience do not see that. You know, you are making a presentation with Microsoft PowerPoint. How would you be able to make sure that, it's just a simple one-word command, that is why I'm asking this question. How would you be able to make sure that the presenter sees the next slide that is coming, but then the audience or those who are projecting to are not able to see that slide?
no, I have no idea.
So you just have to use the presented view.
Yes, so
But then,
I use the forward key, or if there is a remote, then I use that one. But then being able to see it without other things, I've not tried
you've
that.
not tried that. Right. So you try it and you use the presented view. Presenter's view. It will help you to be able to do that. Now, looking at the things you've been able to accomplish, you seem to have been a vice president for various organizations like Oguaho, JCRC, you were the vice president. And then also, I think that you were the vice president for Benkum Old Student Association,
Yes,
right?
it's chapter.
UCC chapter, okay. Don't you think you'd have been either a good presidential candidate or a vice presidential candidate, other than being the secretary?
Okay, so yes, you are right. I could be a president, I could be a vice president, I could even be a WUCOM, because I've also occupied the position of president of women. But you would also notice that I've served as administrative assistant. And I believe that currently, or assistant, it is where I have so much experience. And then it is where I can contribute the greatest to Grasag Ucc.
All right, thank you. I'll have two more questions, then I'll leave you on the CV. I'll come back to you later when it is time for current affairs. Right, you list other skills, social media, interaction and usage, and then good typing skills. Could you explain to us how this will enhance your job as Secretary of Grasag?
Okay, so I believe that first of all, every leader should have good human relations. Irrespective of the position you are occupying, being able to work with people is one of the key things that every leader should have. So as a Grasag Secretary, I intend to use my good human relations, because one of my duties as a Grasag Secretary will be to be the respondents or the correspondents on behalf of Grasag. So with a good human relation, I'm sure I'll be able to receive the needs and then the wants of the students and then address them effectively. And then with the typing skills too, it is going to help my other duty as a secretary, which is to the recording of minutes. I believe that with good typing skills, I'll be able to keep accurate records or be able to take minutes effectively.
All right. So my last question on your CV to you. At languages, English, you write global skill, and then you write C1, C2 proficient. What does that mean? And are there other skills that you know of when it comes to the English language?
Okay, so the global skill there means that when you take the Common European Framework, it was indicated on my English proficiency that I got from the university, that my English proficiency as a student of UCC being measured on a global scale is C1, C2. And then other measurements so are A1, A2, which is the basic level, the B1, B2, which is the intermediate, and then the C1, C2, which is the advanced. So that is why I have C1, C2 here on the global scale.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome, sir.
All right, so you take the next set of questions from Mr. Emmanuel Ej on financial regulations.
Okay. My congratulations
Thank you.
for making a bold step to aspire as Grasag UCC Secretary. I'm asking you two questions. based on the financial regulations. So far as financial regulations is concerned, we normally refer something to value book. And I want to ask what or which book can be considered as a value book.
A value book. Okay, so I'm not really a finance person, so I've not come across a value. Maybe there are other things I know about finance, but for a value book, I have no idea.
Okay, thank you. And I hope you know, you have heard the Director of Finance. Okay. I would ask, or I want you to tell us, we have general responsibility of Director of Finance and specific responsibility of financials. Director of Finance, I want you to tell me some of the general responsibility roles of Director of Finance.
Thank you very much. So the Director of Finance is a mandatory signatory to all the school or the institution's accounts. He or she authorizes all payments or every expenditure of the institution. And then I also think that the Director of Finance keeps accurate records of all financial statements of the institution. Thank you.
You are right. I'm done, Chair.
All right. So the next will be given by the Secretary.
Hello, Eugenia.
Hello, Madam.
How are you?
Yes, I'm good.
Okay, so now we are moving straight to your policy document.
Okay.
And then this was something that you presented yourself, so I'm going to ask you a few questions and then you give me answers, some clarifications. Okay. So first off, I want to start with your mission. Your mission is that you envision a Grasag secretariat that would go beyond the ink. I want you to tell me what it means.
Thank you very much. So, Grasag Secretariat that goes beyond the ink. Mostly when we talk of a secretary or when we hear about a secretary, people think that the only thing they do is to write minutes or put things in writing. But looking at the policies that I have here, there are policies that are actually beyond the ink. That is why I chose this vision. Because there are things that I believe that a secretary can do, aside the writing that we all know. That is why my mission is to go beyond the ink. Thank you.
So what are some of those things?
Okay, so please, with my policy, you would realize that I've captured some under student welfare, their personal development, their other opportunities, and then my commitments to the task. The commitments to the task are actually the ones that I would say are within the ink. But then aside that, creating a paid shared jobs and then scholarship advertisements for interested postgraduate students, I believe that there are things that ordinarily we wouldn't see a secretary do. So these and many others are some of the things that I intend to bring on board. That is why I have the mission going beyond the ink.
All right. So let's go. You have a copy of this, right? So students' welfare. The first point. You want to fast track generation of institutional emails. How feasible is that in your capacity as the Grasag secretary? How do you think this is feasible?
Okay, so thank you very much. If you see from my vision, I intend to collaborate with stakeholders in building a formidable Grasag. So of all my policies, I don't intend to do them single-handedly or alone. I intend to collaborate with people in order to achieve that. So with regards to the institutional emails, I will collaborate with my other council members and then the MIS to resolve the issues surrounding the delay of institutional emails and then ensure that students get their emails on time. Thank you.
Have you already engaged MIS?
Yes.
And what did they say?
Well, the issue right now is that there is an administrative challenge, and then that is why our emails couldn't come on time. I tried to find out what exactly it was, but he said, right now, I'm not an executive, and then that information is very confidential. So when I become a Grasag secretary, then he will be in the capacity to let me know the exact issue. But it is something that Grasag can collaborate with them and then help remedy. Thank you.
All right. And then you are talking about social media handles. That is the point 3.
Okay.
So can you tell us the social media handles of Grasag UCC? So that is Facebook, Twitter, and IG.
Okay, thank you very much. So, as she said, Grasag UCC has a Twitter account, and then the name of that account is Grasag UCC. Grasag UCC has an Instagram account. It is also Grasag UCC. Facebook, it is Grasag UCC headquarters. YouTube, it is Grasag-UCC. And then our general website, which is the grasag@ucc.edu.gh or grasag-ucc.org. Thank you.
That is fine. Empowerment and personal development. The first point, you're organizing workshop and webinars on skills such as CV writing and all that. Is this something new?
Well, it is not something new. I have heard that the current administration is trying to bring this on board, but it is yet to happen. So I don't know if indeed it will happen or not. If it happens, it is good. That is why I have my 10th policy that I will strengthen some of the policies that the current administration will bring on board. If they happen to bring that on board, yes, I will still do it because every year there are new sets of postgraduate students who come. So I will see to the continuation and then the strengthening of that policy if indeed it comes. Thank you.
I'm being tempted to say that there are other things that are more relevant to postgraduate students. So here I'm being contextual. Okay. So they are more relevant to postgraduate students than minute taking. What do you think? Why do you think minute taking is important? Because there are other things that you can also organize webinars on apart from minute taking. I feel like it's more secretarial, and then it's not everybody who is here for secretarial duty. So why do you think minute taking is important or relevant to postgraduate studies?
Okay, thank you very much. So it's not the only thing that I intend to train postgraduate students on. There are a number of things that I intend to bring. So you see the minute taking is just one, and then there is the CV writing. There is a workshop on article writing and publication. Yes, not everybody will be interested, but I'm sure that there will still be some number of students who will be interested. So there are a variety of the skills, so that wherever you fall in, you can get something that you're interested in. Thank you.
So you've not answered my question, honestly. Okay. The minute taking, why do you think it is relevant to postgraduate studies?
Okay, so I believe that everyone who is pursuing a postgraduate studies, after here may decide to go and work in a corporate institution, or even if you decide to set up your own business, I believe that being able to document information or proceedings is a skill that everyone should have. So it's not really being in an official meeting, but being able to document proceedings of every gathering or meeting is something that I think everybody should have. That is why I included that.
So don't you think maybe you could capture it in a nicer way, let's say enhancing writing skills rather than minute taking? Because when you say minutes, it's minutes. So you're having a meeting and then you are writing minutes. So is it always the case that we are going to have a meeting, then you write minutes? Or it's just that you want to enhance the writing skills of postgraduate students? So maybe you look at that.
All right, thank you very much.
I think that is all for me, so I'll pass it on.
Good morning, Eugenia.
Good morning, madam.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, so you intend to be an executive of an association, and hence we expect that you have some knowledge about the association and its affairs. So I would like for you to differentiate between associate and honorary membership.
Okay, so from the Grasag Constitution, we know that an associate member is someone who has a first degree, but then have goals or aims that are aligned to that of Grasag UCC. In that case, Senate can consider if the person can actually be a member or not. So when after the person has been considered and then indeed the person has become a member, such a member is an associate member. But an honorary member is let me put it like, an outstanding member of a society who would think that they are also having goals that are in line with our association. In such cases, Grasag would take the initiative to contact such a person, and then that person will become an honorary member of the association. Thank you.
Okay, so running through your explanations for the various memberships, the goals of Grasag, the goals of Grasag.
Okay.
So what are the goals of Grasag UCC?
Okay, so Grasag UCC have the aim or the goals of seeking the academic, the social, the religious, and general welfare of all students pursuing postgraduate studies in the University of Cape Coast. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So even when you become an executive, there is a section of the Constitution that talks about impeachment.
Okay.
I hope you know what an impeachment
Yes,
is.
yes.
Okay, so I would like you to run me through the first step to conduct an impeachment.
Okay, so for anyone to impeach an executive or any office holder of Grasag UCC, the person will have to, first of all, formally write to Senate that he or she has seen this and that, and then there's the reason why the person would want the removal or the impeachment of such an executive. So the first step is to write formally to the Senate, and then it goes on from there.
Are you sure it's to Senate?
Okay, either the Senate or the Judicial Board, yes.
Please, Senate or Judicial Board?
Okay, the Judicial Board.
So the person writing, what should be the status of the person before the person can ask or request for an impeachment of an executive?
Okay, so the person shouldn't necessarily be an executive. Any member of Grasag who is in good standing, or the person who is a full member of Grasag, any member of Grasag UCC at all can call for an impeachment of any Grasag executive.
Can an associate member call for an impeachment?
No,
Why?
because associate and honorary members are only observers of the association. They are not really full members, or they do not have the equal duties or privileges that other members have. So such a person cannot call for impeachment.
Okay, so my last question to you. The organs of Grasag has one as a General Assembly.
Okay.
What are the two basic functions of the General Assembly?
Okay, so the General Assembly is a forum that the council, I don't know how to put it, but the General Assembly is a forum where the Executive Council, it is a forum where the General Council meets to provide to them their expenditures or their budgets. They can also call for a review of the budgets of the Executive Council. These are the two functions of the General Assembly.
They call for the review of the budget or any financial statements of the association.
Okay, so the General Assembly can put into writing, then I think 1/3 of the entire membership can write. After it has been written, it will have to be endorsed by 1/3 of the membership, and then they can write to the Executive Council to seek review of their budget. Yes, thank you.
Okay, so that's a good attempt, because definitely they would have to write, but then most of the addressing is to the Judicial Board
All right.
to also get in touch with the other stakeholders who would need to give the reviews on both the project as well as the financial statements. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right, so Miss Eugenia, you are doing well. I want to pick it from there. We are looking at your job specifics.
All right.
My first question to you is, what does the secretary do before a meeting?
Okay, thank you very much. So before a meeting, a secretary is supposed to, in collaboration with the president, prepare the agenda for the meeting.
Is that the only thing?
That is the only duty that comes before meetings in the Grasag Constitution. That is the preparation of the agenda before meetings. But then during meetings too, there are other duties that the secretary performs.
I am interested in before. So is there anything else before, or just the preparation of agenda?
Yes, it is the only thing that comes before meetings.
All right. So that is a good attempt. It is part. But before, you are supposed to communicate to your people when, where, and even the agenda after you have prepared. they are supposed to know the agenda before the meeting commences.
Oh, okay. I thought you were asking for my duties in the Constitution.
No.
It is something that I am supposed to do, but it has not been captured as a duty in the Constitution. So I thought you were trying to refer to duties of the Constitution.
You are done with Constitution. I'm saying
okay.
job specific.
Oh, okay.
So I was particular about the kind of question I was
All
going
right.
to ask.
Thank you.
My next question: what is the difference between a report and a meeting? And a minute?
Okay, so thank you very much. Minutes are a recording of deliberations or proceedings at meetings. So the minutes will have the actual recording of everything that happened at a meeting. A report is just a summary of an activity that has gone on. It doesn't necessarily have to be a meeting, but any other activity that has gone on, when it is being recorded and reported, we call that a report. Thank you.
Recorded and reported. A report.
Okay, so after it has been recorded in a document form, such a document is called a report. Yes, thank you.
It's very interesting. So you said it right. Minutes are detailed of whatever transpired.
Yes.
And report is reporting. I'm just quoting what you said.
No, please, I didn't say that.
You said report is reporting.
No.
Recorded
the report
and reported.
is a recording of an activity that has gone on. It could be a meeting or any other activity that has gone on. Bringing us a document or giving us the details of that particular activity is what we call a report.
All right. So in addition to what you said, I was expecting that in a report, we only capture the main points.
Okay.
But minute is into details with your point and a little explanation for anyone who reads to understand. That is the clear difference between the two. My next question: what is a call to action as used in writing memo?
A call to action. Okay, so it refers to the things that the addressee of the memo is supposed to do. So there are actions that needs to be taken. That is a call for action.
Who does that?
Come again.
Who does that?
The person it is being addressed to.
All right, so in a memo, before you end everything, you call the attention of your audience to the salient point.
Okay.
And doing so is what you call the call to action.
Correct.
What you want them to carry along or what you want them to have. So that is the impulse of whatever you are writing. Calling their attention to that is what is called call to action.
All right, thank you.
Are you a self-starter?
Come again.
Are you a self-starter?
Yes, please.
So you give an example to demonstrate that you're a self-starter.
Okay, so there have been several instances where I decided to take initiatives throughout the positions I've occupied. Being a vice president, I initiated a talent show where women who have great skills came on board to advertise their talents and then showcase what they can do. Through that, we were able to get a contestant for the 2020 Ghana's Most Beautiful, which is my initiative, something that I began. Also, during my tenure, we started the project for Women's Desk. So it was during my time that the Women's Desk started doing projects for the hall. And the first thing with our little resources we could do was to purchase mirrors for ladies in the hall. That is, every floor was issued one mirror. And then it is a project that started during my time. Thank you.
All right. So you've mentioned some of your achievements as a leader. I was looking at more of the actions that you started before even bringing it to the Executive Council for decision to be taken. That was the key thing I was looking for. But you've mentioned achievements that you spearheaded.
No,
That
there
is
are
pretty
things
good.
I initiated. So it's not like I just performed those roles because they were assigned to me. There were things that weren't in existence, but it was during my time that I initiated those actions.
All right. So that is fair. My last question to you: how would you manage your time and prioritize tasks?
Okay, thank you very much. I believe that time management is a skill that is very key to every individual. if you're able to manage your time effectively, you'll be able to accomplish any other thing that you want to accomplish in this life. Serving in various leadership positions, I've been able to manage my time, as in being able to perform well in my academics and still excelling in the leadership positions that I've been given to. So yes, I believe in time management, and then I've been able to manage my time with every leadership position I've been given. So I believe that it's something that is key.
You believe it is something you can do?
Yes, because it is something I have done before and something I can do.
Okay. But I was looking out for you bringing on board some varieties in some of the current happening, so that you say, based on what the current administration is doing, if I'm to handle this, I'm going to do A, B, and C. And in so doing, it is going to help me work within a limited time and still do whatever I'm supposed to do. There are cases that student leadership are unable to finish their thesis within 2 years. Hope you are aware.
Yes, please.
And you know what you are coming for.
Yes, please.
So do you believe you are going to finish your thesis within the 2 years as you are coming to pick up the work of the secretary?
Yes, please, I'll be able to do that. I have held positions where I was able to still complete my projects and then still excel in my academics. So I don't believe that this one will be different. I'll be able to perform excellently as a Grasag secretary and then also finish my thesis on time. And I know Grasag executives who have actually completed their thesis on time, so I won't be the first, and I know that I can do it.
You know Grasag executive?
Yes.
Current one?
No. Past executive.
But you are dealing with current administration and looking at the situation at hand now.
Okay, so
how
the current
graduate
executive
students are being handled.
Oh, it's not something that happened very long ago. It is just last year. Currently, I know the academic year hasn't ended, so it is normal if they haven't finished. But then I am sure by the end of this academic year, they'll be able to finish their thesis. I'm sure Miss Sika is almost done with her thesis.
You said you are sure?
Yes.
You said you are sure? Because I can tell you that some have not even met their supervisors yet. So how sure are you?
No, I am sure for her.
She's here, and she will be able to answer that. She has not even met the supervisor.
Oh.
Are you aware of that?
No, I know she's at the verge of
So you take that sure aspect of your statement because you are not sure of it.
Okay, so...
All right. So
right,
I'll end my conversation with you here, and you look at the next from Miss.
Hi, Eugenia.
Hello, madam.
How are you?
Please, I'm good.
Okay, so I am taking you through sexual harassment and the student's handbook. Are you ready?
Yes, please.
Okay, so my first question. Assuming I have an issue with regards to the shuttle buses,
Okay.
who do I report to?
Okay, thank you very much. So the student handbook has made it clear that if you have any issue regarding the shuttles on campus, you have to report to the estate section. They are in charge of all issues surrounding the shuttles on campus. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. And then, let's say I own a car on campus. What are the necessary precautions that I have to take in order to park at a place or move freely on campus?
Okay, thank you very much. Also, I think that one is also in the same area as the first one. If you are a student and then you own a vehicle on campus, you are supposed to go to the estate section to get it registered. After the registration, you are supposed to get a sticker on that car before you can move it on campus. And then there are some designated places on campus where students can park. So you can't park anywhere. There are places that only students can park. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let's move far from the transportation issue. Okay. Let's move to distance education. I'm a student of the distance education. I want to go on a transfer or transit. Which office do I report to? And what precautions do I have to take in order to go on a transit or a transfer?
Okay, so thank you very much. With regards to the distance education, they have they are called the program coordinators or the program tutors. There are people who are in charge of the various units that they are. So you are supposed to write to that person, and then they will liaise it, and then it will, they are supposed to write to those people, and then it will come to the provost or college of distance education. And then if it is an issue regarding postgraduate students, it will come to the office of the Grasag studies.
Not quite. Not quite. There's a unit called Student Support Unit. So that's where you go
Oh, okay.
to ask for a permit. And if you are being granted a permit, you have to submit an ID card which shows that you are really a student of code. And you have to give a tangible reason why you want to transfer or transfer to the place.
All right.
Are you
Thank
okay?
you.
Let's move to sexual harassment.
Okay.
How many committee members or how many members are made to sit on a case with regards to sexual harassment?
Okay, I know of 3.
No, 3.
Yes.
4.
4. Oh, okay.
Okay. My next question.
All right.
Why do you think HODs and the registrars are allowed to take, how do I put it? What? Sorry, let me reframe it. Why do you think HODs or registrars are allowed to go on a training section together with the sexual harassment committee?
Okay, so thank you very much. I believe that it is because when there are issues of sexual harassment, these are the people that students will have to report to. So they need to be trained or educated on the steps that they need to go through so that they will ensure that when such issues come up, they'll be able to address those issues to the satisfaction of the students.
Okay. Do you think it's wrong for a senior member to have any sexual relationship with the students?
Yes, please. That is what the handbook says.
The handbook doesn't say that.
Okay, but I know that to be one of the rules governing the university. That
And what rule is that?
well, I don't know where it has been written, but I know it is something that I have heard a lot of senior members and then some students say that it is not allowed for a senior member to have an affair with a student.
It's not entirely so, but that's fine.
Okay. Yes, thank you.
All right, so you pick an additional question from Dr. Tvucc.
Hello, Ms. Eugenia.
Sure.
You've done well, in my opinion anyway, but then we are ending it here for. Well, one of the reasons I'm here is purposely for the interest of the hall.
Okay.
So I want to find out if you have any plans as a secretary or in conjunction with, if you are elected, your administration for the hall.
Okay, so thank you very much. As you said, I would collaborate with my president and other council members to see to the general welfare of residents in the hall. Because as we know, we are here to seek the welfare of postgraduate students. If they are residing in a hall, then the hall that they are residing in should also be of our interest. So it is something that I'll collaborate with my other executives to see how best we can help the hall.
Right. That's okay. So the question I was supposed to actually ask
Okay.
on current affairs.
Okay.
You know, the Parliament is now debating the anti-LGBTQ bill. Who is the main sponsor for that bill?
I have no idea.
Which MP is the main sponsor for that bill?
Sam George.
Honorable Sam George. Yes, that's right.
All right, thank you very much. So we are going to give room for extra 1 questions from our panel members based on the areas we have tackled as a follow-up question. So you expect a new question from any of us as an additional question. All right, so.
Okay. So with regards to the job specifics, currently as a student and as a member of Grasag, I'm very sure that you've seen the current secretary in an attempt to discharge her duties. As an aspiring Grasag secretary, I would want to know the strengths and weaknesses you've identified and how you intend to work on the weaknesses of the current secretary to help build a formidable Grasag UCC.
Okay, so thank you very much. Let me start with the strength. Honestly, I must commend her for a great work done. She has done so well as a secretary. mostly we see that messages or notices come on time, and then we know that it is a secretary who is behind all these writings. So I believe that she has done a great job. But one weakness I have seen is that sometimes during our meetings, some students are not able to attend because they claim they have lectures during those times. When I went further to ask, the issue was that their departments didn't get the release letters on time. Even some, they said they didn't even get their letters. So I believe that, yes, she has done her best, but then there is always a room for improvement. When I come on board as a Grasag secretary, it is actually part of my policies that I will maximize participation in Grasag activities through timely notification of departments and schools so that students can get the opportunity to involve themselves in Grasag activities. Thank you.
All right, so I think my panel members are done with their questions. But before you leave, you have an official paper on your table. You put into writing a memo, any of them, a memo or a minute for our interaction as the secretary.
Okay.
You have 5 minutes. Miss Eugenia, if you are done, you submit.
Yes, I'm done.
All right. All right, so thank you very much for coming. You give room for maybe a submission, or if you have a question for us, we're also ready for you before you release you.
Okay, so I would like to thank you very much. Today I've been able to learn new things, and I also hope that after here I'll be able to improve upon certain things that I'm bringing on board. And I hope that together we can come together and then build a formidable Grasag. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, so the session of the secretary is over. In a few minutes, you'll be inviting the aspirant for the presidency. So you stay tuned and expect the best from us.
Right, you're still watching us live. This is TV UCC, and of course, you are watching the vetting of nominees who want to be student leaders among the graduate students of University of Cape Coast. We are transmitting live from the Seminar Room 3 of Graduate Studies, School of Graduate Studies of University of Cape Coast. If you are around, you can join us at auditorium. If because of one or two reasons you cannot join us, you can also stay at your office, wherever you find yourself, and watch us live. But do us that favor, share the content for others to also get to know what we are doing here. And of course, very important, keep your comments coming. Mr. Erica J, I've seen your comment. You are saying that this is good work. You said great sound with quality pictures, and you are praising TV, UCC and ATLFM. Thank you very much. We are gathering the information that the SRC local news vetting result is out. Very soon we'll be announcing it here. We'll be going through it. But until we get the confirmation, we wouldn't be doing that. It's a rumor anyway. But we would approach the appropriate quarters so that we can give you authentic information. But just before the next nominee comes in, we are waiting for the students who aim to be the president of the Graduate Student Association of University of Cape Coast, while the committee gets prepared to receive the first nominee. I want to take some few minutes to interact with some of the people who have joined us here. Newton, who is the former secretary of Grasag, is here. Newton, join me here and let's have a conversation. How are you doing?
Fine, thank you, sir. And yourself?
I'm also fine. Thanks for asking. We met at the SRC vetting.
Yeah. It was refreshing, and I'm happy to and glad to see you here, just as you promised that you would like to extend your services to the graduate students, and we were all in support of it. And so we are grateful to have you here.
This is the first nominee for today's exercise. What is your take? What have you observed so far?
Yeah, like again, we have seen tremendous improvement as far as the interaction is concerned. Over the years, we've been aiming to have top interaction and what's it called process of this nature to come out with the best that we can ever offer. Yes, and so I'm happy to see how the process is unfolding.
What would be your advice to those who are yet to come? Actually, the next portfolio is Grasag president. I keep saying SRC just because of what we have been doing for the past 4 days or so. Next portfolio is Grasag president. What do you have for them?
Right. Not to scare anybody, there is one concern or one thing I keep hearing ever since the SRC interaction began. People keep complaining as to why certain questions are asked. I say, and I always put to the aspirant that, listen, you don't determine the kind of question the panel asks. Every question they ask has got a reason for which they are asked. And so if they are looking for something and a certain question demands that, it demands that they ask a certain question to get the kind of response from the individuals, yours is to prepare for everything possible. And so even as you walk in here, you cannot tell what kind of questions you need. Of course, there are some questions you can predict as to why you want to hold a certain position, what plans you have for the student body. But beyond that, there are other things we should look at from your you as a candidate who is seeking to lead a body or intellectuals of this nature. And so they should prepare. That's it.
Now, comparing this vetting with yours, same position, what is your take?
Yeah. In fact, considering what our younger ones went through, I mean, over the week, I do not expect anything substandard of what they went through, because we are assumed as people who are of higher level than them. And so we should be expecting more from the candidates who are seeking to occupy this position, that is the Grasag positions. And so, yes, we expect the best and nothing else.
I asked you specifically what you experienced. This is the position that you occupied once upon a time as Grasag secretary. So during your vetting, the interrogation that you had with the vetting committee, comparing that one to what you just observed, what do you have to say about it?
Using myself as an example, I had opportunity to have experienced quite a number of vettings before meeting the panel during my time. And so I was a bit more relaxed than you would have thought. And so somebody who is never been through a process of this nature before, you expect that there will be some level of anxiety. Of course, it's expected, but then I expect that they grow into it as the period progresses. And so, again, be it you have faced something like this before or not, it is you had a time to prepare. And so we do not expect you to come here and not put up the best. Yes, we won't pardon you for that.
We won't pardon you for that. I have received the document signed by the vetting, signed by the vetting committee chairman of the SRC and local news of University of Cape Coast, Professor Samuel Essien Baidu. So quickly, we'll run us through the document and we get to know the content of what happened at the end of the vetting exercise, the 4-day exercise that took place at Jena Opoku Ajiman Auditorium. So we'll read the document here. Notice, the Office of the Dean of Students wishes to inform the student body and the entire university community that at the end of the vetting exercise for the 2023-2024 SRC local news elections, the position of SRC coordinating secretary has been declared vacant. In view of the above, filing of nominations has been reopened for the position of SRC coordinating secretary from Friday, that is today, 14th of July 2023 to Sunday, 16th of July 2023. Nomination forms are available at the Office of the Dean of Students. Thank you. Professor Samuel Essien Baidu, Chair, Vetting Committee, signed. Are you shocked?
Not at all.
This is a breaking news.
Yeah. You remember when we met at the Nana Jane Opoku Ajiman Auditorium, you asked one question as to whether the process of telecasting this should be encouraged. And I was in support of it. And one thing I used as a backup, or in backing my claim or my support for it, was that, at least in the opinion of the public is equally able to tell as to whether whatever decision the panel arrives at is in place or not. And so I'm not expecting anybody to be surprised, because right from there we were able to tell, we were able to predict that certain candidates were going to be disqualified.
Well, let's go through the document. This is the results, actually. So this is the results. The declaration of results for 2023-2024 SRC local news position. Students who filed nominations for the 2023-2024 SRC local news election were vetted from Monday 10th July to Friday 14th of July 2023. We hereby publish the results of the vetting as follows. President Alexander Osei, and we'll just be mentioning teams. So Team Possible qualified. Team Stunner withdrew. The governor qualified. Team Apiakubi qualified. Team SK qualified. Treasurer, SRC treasurer, we have Tony Yeboah qualified. Adusei not qualified. We'll come to that. Let me go through. Let me finish going through the results first. Abode qualified. Now the portfolio, that is the SRC Public Relations Officer. Abdul qualified. AK qualified. Nariko not qualified. Education qualified. Obiba qualified. Philosopher qualified. SRC Secretary Aronia not qualified. Dorita qualified. ST qualified. Na qualified. SRC Coordinating Secretary, interesting. Lena not qualified. Martha not qualified. We move on to the SRC Women's Commissioner. Ohenewa qualified. Hawa qualified. So we have two nominees contesting, or two nominees who've met or faced the vetting committee. Now the SRC General Sports Secretary, AB qualified. Misty qualified. Fredo qualified. SRC, this is local news president. BB not qualified. Father Bernard qualified. Keneben qualified. Godfred qualified. Honorable not qualified. AJ qualified. Selassie qualified. So interestingly, and then it continued to, okay, signed. This is signed by Professor Samuel Asian Bedu, chairman of the vetting committee, and he copied Vice Chancellor, Pro-Vice Chancellor, Registrar, Dean, Vice Dean, Professor Rebecca Daymensa, that is the Vice Chair, and it continues. So this is authentic. Newton, we've seen local news president BB not qualified. Are you shocked?
Not at all.
Oh, really? Are you a prophet or what?
Right. We saw a typical example last year where out of, I think, 4 or 5 candidates who applied for that particular portfolio, out of them, they were all disqualified except one who went unopposed. And so this, getting one person, just one person disqualified, I think I shouldn't be shocked at all.
And SRC Secretary Eronia too couldn't qualify.
Yeah. I mean, any candidate there who didn't qualify, I am not surprised, simply because, one, again, we're able to predict that there were some people, based on their performance they put up at the interaction, who were not going to be able to make it. And so, and I should say, there are some people there who might have escaped it with a slim margin. In fact, there were more we're expecting, but I'm sure, yes, they were able to escape it due to 1 or 2 questions they were able to attempt.
Newton, surprisingly, we've seen that BB, who was the first nominee to be vetted for the portfolio of the local news president, and Eronia, first person to be vetted. In fact, Eronia was the first person to be vetted for the position of secretary, and the one that was cancelled too, she was the first person to be vetted. Do you think, in a way, they were affected because they were the first people to be vetted for the day?
Of course, one can make an argument for that, but then you don't blame anybody for it because you were pre-informed. And so it was expected that you will prepare before appearing. And so if you are not going to subject yourself to any form of tutoring before coming there, you can't blame anybody as per what is come out. Yeah. And so we can only wish them good luck some other time.
All right. We'll pause here. We'll make time for that, where we'll be looking at it into details. But for now, we'll pause here and, of course, hand over to the chairman for the Graduate Student Association Vetting Committee to continue with the exercise. Remember that you can also send your comment, share your thought with us at the comment section. But if you have not subscribed, then do us that favor. Subscribe right now and share the content. I know there's someone who wants to also get access to what we're doing here. But if you are around the University of Cape Coast campus, you can join us. We are transmitting live from the Seminar Room 3 of School of Graduate Studies of University of Cape Coast. Chairman.
All right, sir. Thank you very much.
Yes. But just before we continue, are you surprised with the result that we're seeing?
From my end, or what you just read?
What I just read, SRC vetting results?
It is interesting. This year we are having candidates that majority, I would say, are yet to learn more about the association or what they are vying for. So it is good that these things pop up, where you get students who show interest without even learning. They will just appear before vetting panel and trying to get the position without learning. So if some students come without learning, it will be evidence enough that their performance will take them out of the system.
All right.
And I think the system is very interesting that if you didn't perform, you won't be able to qualify.
All right. Right. We'll hand over to you to continue with the exercise. That is the vetting of the Grasag presidential position nominees. You can join us as I've already indicated. Chairman, over to you. You can continue.
Thank you very much. So in a moment, we are welcoming Team Japan. And the president or the presidential candidate is Governor Japan and Miriam Ayinsua Frimpong. So in the next moment, you have these two individuals in our midst. Let's take them as they come. Good morning. Please have a seat. You're welcome. I want you to speak through the microphone if it is loud.
Hello.
All right. So I can hear it perfectly. All right. So before you proceed, I want the two of you to submit your payment of fees. All right. So to our audience, it's a requirement that a student will be in a good standing before appearing before the vetting committee. And as part of it, we take evidence from their payment of fees, and it is an indication that if you have not paid in full, you won't be even vetted. And if you are vetted and you find out that you have not paid in full, you are also disqualified. So it is a key thing to our audience. We welcome you both. In a minute, you introduce yourself and why you are here.
Thank you very much, Chair. I am in the person of Kwabene Japan,
And I'm Frimpong Miriam Aisia.
and we are here to be vetted for the position of Grasag presidency. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
You said the team is the teaser for
Team Japan.
Team Japan. So we welcome you both as part of our modalities. If a question is posed to the president, you expect the president to answer. And if it's for the vice president, you expect the vice president to answer. We are looking at your competency as individual and before the team also come in. So if it is a question to the team, any of you will want to answer, and that is fair. The instance where you want to fidget and tell the other person your thought of the question, you may want to bring the question to you for you to even speak it loud so that you know what you have. And if it is wrong, it becomes a deduction. If you want to help the other person and you are not even getting it wrong, you will deduct from your score. And remember that the total score is going to pass you, not us. So do well to answer the questions as it is. If you don't have an idea, you let us move on. All right. On that note, you begin with your CV, and Dr. Afrifa is going to help us to do that.
Hello, Karai Miriam, you are welcome.
Thank you very much.
I want to congratulate you on having the courage to stand for the position of the Grasag president.
Thank you.
we'll go through your CV in a brief, so that we can get on to do other things. Right. Right. So, as a reminder, you are being scored on your CV, your dressing and appearance, your expression, your knowledge of financial regulation, your policy and innovation, knowledge of Grasag, knowledge of the job specific, the student handbook, sexual harassment codes, and then current affairs. Right. Good. Now, let me begin with you, Kwabna, on your CV. I noticed that your name, and then you have one very good professor that we all know, Reverend Professor S.K. Japan as your referee. Is there, by chance, any relationship between you and the referee?
Thank you for the question. Chair, he is my grandfather, so I have a personal relationship with him. Thank you.
So I was wondering if he would be the best judge of your character in terms of when you are vying for a position as a Grasag president, not as a grandchild.
Yes, please.
Have you had any working relationship with him before?
Yes, I have.
Okay. And in what capacity?
I worked as his personal assistant when he was retired. I go for meetings with him. I help him get his sermon ready. He's a reverend minister. So I've worked with him personally.
All right, that is fair. Right, so with your work experience, I see that you were administrative assistant at the College of Distance Education. Cool.
Yes, please.
Tell us what you did there specifically.
Okay, thank you for the question. Chair, as an administrative assistant at College of Distance Education, UCC, I was in charge of quiz marking, quiz supervision. We also deployed to the various centers to supervise quiz writing, examination writing, and the lectures of the students. Thank you.
All right, so what you learned at Code, how do you think it would influence your position, the position you are vying for as a Grasag president?
Thank you very much. So what Code taught me has to do with respect to authority. That's the first thing. Even the student handbook speaks about how we are supposed to respect those in authority. I work directly under the coordinator of exams unit, Mr. Matthew Kwedu, and that respect on subordinate leader relationship was there. I also had a chance to supervise people in their quizzes and their exams, meaning that if I wasn't trusted enough to be loyal and steadfast, Code wouldn't have deployed me to such an area. I also learned human relation as part of the things that Code does with my peers and again with those who are in charge at College of Distance Education. Thank you.
Do you think respect is important, an important attribute that a president of an organization should have? You have all the power. Do you think respect is important?
Yes, respect is important.
Why do you think so?
Thank you very much. Respect can come in so many forms. It could be respect because of the current position you occupy. It could be respect for you as a person. So respect would allow people to understand the kind of position you acquire. People would give you reverence and also understand that you have a certain power of authority. That is in the perspective of the work area. Personally, if people respect you, people accord you with some kind of reverence. People do not disrespect you. People do not just take you for granted. So respect in itself is very important in the life of a leader.
All right, thank you, Kwabna. On page 2 of your CV, you wrote seminars and conferences attended. You have Success Africa Conference. What was that conference about?
Thank you very much for the question. Chair, Success Africa was looking at imparting certain skills into young students within UCC campus, and it had to do with leadership skills, had to do with communication, and so on and so forth.
Okay. When I look at the leadership positions that you have taken right previously, I see deputy left bench leader, member of the business committee, chairman of the NSS, and end of year planning committee. Now I see no, that's probably me. I see no position that gives you that necessary experience to head a whole organization like Grasag. Would you like to prove me wrong?
Thank you very much. I'm looking at my leadership positions. You could say that I have not played an active role in heading a whole organization, but I would say that leadership is not just about being the head of an organization. It comes in different forms, and looking at what I have acquired through these various positions, it makes me competent enough to head the whole organization. Thank you.
When you have not been at the helms of an affair, at the helms of affairs before for an organization such as Grasag, you know Grasag is huge.
Yes, please.
And so I'm still thinking that you need to tell me more to convince me that you could head Grasag.
Okay, thank you very much. I believe leadership is about your vision and your drive. I have a vision that talks about an all-inclusive community for graduate students where we are looking at harnessing different skills in entrepreneurship, in innovation and research. We also want to, as part of my vision for the association, also wants to harness this intellectual curiosity of all postgraduate students and also focus on certain thematic areas that even is in my policy documents like academic and research, welfare, governance and finance. I have areas that touch on publicity and communication and so on and so forth. Okay.
All right. There's a section of your CV, I think page 4, that talks about attitude. And then I think the third bullet, you write logical thinker and analytical knowledge. What does that mean?
Thank you very much. Someone who learns how to think on their feet, that should there be a pertaining problem or pertaining issue, you should be able to analyze within the shortest possible time and come up with the best or close to the best response. And that becomes a very good quality as a leader, looking at the size of the organization as Grasag is. You should be able to think on your feet at any point in time. Thank you.
Are you a thorough person?
To an extent.
Because it's not even a question I should ask. You've actually stated it here. Just after the logical thinker and analytical knowledge question, you've stated that you are accurate, you are consistent, and then you are thorough. But I find something that doesn't speak to this fact. Just at the last, there was a bullet there. There was nothing written there. How does that make you thorough?
Thank you very much. Chair, I said to an extent, in as much as I'm thorough, I'm human, and humans are bound to make errors. And as I said, to an extent, this could be one of those minute errors that could have even come as a result of even the Microsoft Word itself.
I don't think you're in a position to consider this as a minute error. People perceive errors in different ways. The way I'm seeing it may be different from the way you are seeing it, because you've written that you are consistent, you are thorough. And so if I'm seeing this mistake, I would want to think about what you've written before. So you saying it's a minute error may not be an appropriate word to use. It's a mistake you've committed, and probably this is a document you are using to apply or vie for the position of an organization like Grasag. I would have thought that you go over and over to ensure that whatever you've written here as an accurate person is manifested in the document itself. So imagine just a few lines after the document, and I'm seeing a mistake. When you've written, you're an accurate person. So you can't consider this as a minute error, right?
Thank you very much.
Would you consider if we recommend you for a different position? Because for me, I think that your experiences are not enough to merit the position of the head of Grasag.
Thank you very much. It's unfortunate that I would not consider any other position apart from the one I'm vying for currently. Thank you.
All right. I think that is that for you. Let me ask Miriam. It's just a simple question I want to actually ask her. I think the same question that I asked you. I don't see any position or any experience in a CV that puts her at the position of Grasag Vice President. I want to know, I wanted to probably convince me or the people here that she has certain level of experience that could put her in the position of Grasag Vice President.
Thank you very much. Chair, I have, let me say, I believe I have the leadership skills in being the vice president of this association. This is because I want to go a bit into my field. When we talk about learning disability, before you would be able to identify if a child has a learning disability, you have to assign that child to a task before you would notice. You can't see that physically on the person. So in relation to this, with me being the aspirant of Tvucc Japan or running with Tvucc Japan for the association president and then vice president, I believe that in as much as I have acquired some experiences, and with those experiences, I believe when I'm being given the mandate or the power to be the vice president of the association, I would be able to manage the association. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
All right, you're welcome once again.
Thank you.
I'm not impressed with the submission, though, but it's your point of view, and it will influence our scoring. So just saying your department and your program of study has equipped you for the running mate portfolio or the vice president is not enough. So just mind how you communicate your experience, and it is going a long way to help you. You will take more questions from financial regulation, and our dear brother is going to help us to do that.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Thank you.
All right. I'm asking few questions based on financial regulations, and my question will be general to the team. So if you have any answer, then you let us know. First of all, I want to know the members or those who form part in the budget committee. You know, every year we read budget. So far as financial regulation is concerned in UCC campus, I want to know the various individuals who form part in the budget committee.
Thank you very much for the question. Chair, those that form part of the budget committee with respect to Grasag as an association is the members of the executive council. Thank you.
Is the members of
The executive council.
the executive council?
Yes, please.
Maybe you didn't get the question.
The financial regulation we have as a mother institution, everything, all the sub-department, faculty, everything gears towards the central academic affairs, financial affairs. So this steers all financial report, whatever thing in the university. That's why I'm asking. And the budget encompasses every organization on UCC campus. So that's why I'm asking those who form part in the budget committee in UCC campus.
Thank you very much for the question. Members of the school's budget committee, we have the vice chancellor, we have the registrar of the school, we have the various provosts of the various colleges and heads of the various associations. Thank you.
Okay. I want to also find out, in finance, they don't consider every book as valid book. Some books are considered more valid or important in finance. So I want to ask which books can be considered as valued book. Valued book.
Please, unfortunately, we don't have an idea.
You don't have an idea. Or you'll be working with a financial secretary, and it's not any book that will be considered important or valued. So in finance, they have valid book, and it's not, like I said earlier, it's not every book. So I want to find out books that can be considered. For instance, check is a value book so far as finance is concerned, and other financial records. Okay, I want to also find out the process of opening account, bank account. For instance, if you have that there's a bank and the interest is higher and what have you, and you want to open a new account, a bank account, which process would you follow to open that account? Because Grasag, we need money, and we have bank account as well. So if you realize bank A is doing well, and we at bank B, and we are not earning anything, which process would you follow to open a new bank account?
Thank you very much for the question. Chair, the first thing that you would have to do is the due diligence. You'd have to understand the various investment packages that particular bank you are looking at has to offer. After being able to understand and pick that particular package with which the investment is going to be, you would write in, you send a letter to the Dean of School of Graduate Studies, telling her about the investment opportunities and how much Grasag is willing to invest into such an account.
Come again. You said after the second one, I didn't get it. You said first of all, you search from the bank and what have you. Then the second step.
You send in writing to the Dean of Graduate School, since she's a principal and signatory to all our accounts, telling her the various packages that you wish the association could invest in and how best it will help the association. When it is approved, you now table it to Senate and the account can be opened. Thank you.
Okay. Vice, I want you to answer this. How many members form part on the audit committee
Please, 5.
Okay, it's correct. Is there any reason to that number, to the team?
Okay, so please, per my understanding, I think one way it can is easy in terms of decision making. And then when we want to talk about the quorum of the membership, when you have 3 people on board, you are good to go or begin with the meeting. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you. So you pick the next question, set of questions from our secretary.
Hello. Japan and Miriam, am I correct?
Yes, please.
How are you?
Yeah, good.
Are you answering for it? That's fine.
The collective effort.
Teamwork.
Yes, teamwork.
So we are starting. It's not numbered. The pages are not numbered. So I'm taking here where you have academic and research to be page 1. Because you've not numbered it, I'm doing it with my own discretion. So page 1. Academic and research. You said you want to advocate for a well-structured academic calendar in the first year to ensure that the period for lectures and there are a lot of things there. Why is it not well-structured already? What new things do you intend to do?
Thank you very much for the question. I'm speaking on behalf of the team. In coming up with this policy, we actually looked at the release of results, the delay of release of results as a problem that most postgraduate students are facing. I picked my department, for instance, CESED, Center for Entrepreneurship and Small Enterprise Development. Most of my results are in, apart from one. I have colleagues or friends in other departments and other faculties. Some have not even received any of their results yet, but we are about ending the second semester of our first year. I know that someone might say that graduate studies is 24 months, but I know that you have to know your stand before you complete your coursework. It could be that you have other papers that you have to even retake, and not seeing your results before, and entering into the second year could be a problem. You also have to know your grade point average or your CGPA, because it will also enable you to further your studies. Even per the academic policy, you should have a CGPA of 3.5 and above in order to do your PhD. And if you've not seen all these results before you start your thesis or your thesis year, it becomes a problem. So since School of Business has practiced using a clear-cut academic structure, following the school's timeline within the semester, most of our results are being released early, and we do not have problems of chasing lecturers or going to registration offices and exam offices in our various departments for our results to be released. Thank you.
Okay, so if I'm getting you correctly, this particular policy has to do with the department, not the school.
The departments make part of the school.
No, so like I'm trying to say, is it like department oriented, not the school? Because you said the academic calendar, so I was considering the whole school. So like maybe you're going to make alterations in the whole academic calendar, but I just want to know if it is department oriented.
Thank you. So yes, every department and how things roll, but the mother school is School of Graduate Studies. So if School of Graduate Studies mandates all departments to follow that clear-cut academic structure, like what other schools and departments and faculties are doing, I think it will go a long way to help other departments who have problems like this. Thank you.
Okay, so maybe, don't you think there could be like a proper way of capturing it? Because the way you've captured it, it doesn't give me the meaning, that it doesn't reflect what you are telling me. So maybe you should capture departments. Maybe some departments should learn from the others, and because if you say you are going to advocate for a well-structured academic calendar, then it means what we already have is not the best. So you are going to come up with a new academic calendar. Academic calendar covers everything. Don't forget that we have other things, even apart from whatever you are talking about. It's not only about academics and all that. It's academic calendar. So maybe you have a nice way of capturing that.
Thank you.
And then the fifth one, the same thing. You said you are also going to advocate for a clear-cut academic structure within the second year, where we are going to have progress reports incorporated. I'm aware that School of Business has something like that.
Yes, please.
You also have the same thing. So what is new?
Okay, thank you very much. So I looked at it on a more general basis. As far as some departments and schools have already started doing it, it could be incorporated as a policy for School of Graduate Studies. The other departments, schools and faculties can also implement that. Thank you.
So you know when we are stating things like this, that's why we say we have something called SMART. I think we use it a lot of time, and the S is specific. So I think that in your policies, most of the things that you have said are not being specific. So you should be specific with all certain things, because what you have here means that there is nothing like that, and you are not bringing something like that. But if it's already ongoing, I think you should make us aware that it is already going. But the new thing you are bringing is that you want to make sure that all the other departments also learn from them and do same. So you should be specific, because when I read this, I wouldn't understand that the other people doing it, and then you are going to make it more general. I don't know if you are getting me.
Thank you very
much. So
much.
it should be more specific. Okay. VI, the same page. You said you organize more for lectures, tech clinics, and symposiums in a decentralized manner. And then I want to know more.
Okay, thank you very much. If you read further, the explanation talks about doing most of these fora online. I believe that we are in an age where things are more technological. We are also looking at reducing costs and gaining benefits. Now, Grasag has a YouTube account where we've even uploaded the current research journey. It becomes a reference material. When it's monetized and students keep watching, Grasag also gains some level of money, which also helps Grasag as an association. Now, the decentralization I'm talking about is moving away from having just one big general seminar, but adapt the e-resource strategy that the School of Graduate Studies is using, and also move that one online. Thank you.
You want to move the e-resource online?
No. That is the seminars and lectures and forums that Grasag would organize.
But then, let's just be real. You know, sometimes when you organize virtual sessions, some people also complain that they do not have data to join. So what about that?
Thank you very much. The good thing is there's an ongoing policy by the SRC where there's a data package policy where data is being given to all students of UCC. So I think that such a problem is already being solved by the SRC. Thank you.
All right. Let's go to VII. I'm so much interested in the policy, so don't worry. Extend the research sentinels to other departments that do not have representation. And then you know you are a senator, so you know the financial status of the association as of now. And then I was just wondering, like, how you are going to fund it. But because I think that if there are two departments that have something in common, let's say maybe business, maybe accounting and procurement. I'm just giving an example. Maybe they have certain things that are the same. I think that we have one person that is representing them. I think it is cost effective. So I'm just considering it that way. So is it necessary that we bring for every department, even if there can be one person to represent two or more departments? What do you think?
Okay. Thank you very much. Chair, the idea of extending the research center now to other departments that do not have representation has to do with the fact that Some departments have specific ways of going about research, specific understandings. So that is what motivated this particular policy. Speaking to the monetary aspect of the policy, I know for sure that it is not mandatory to pay the research sentinel. Now, it's a work out of dedication. It's a work that would help the association. So under my tenure, looking at the financial state of Grasag, I would plead and speak to these people that are willing to join the research center, because it becomes a plus to them as well. Because the more you teach people, the more you also gain understanding. So it becomes a two-way affair where they help people and they also help themselves. So I feel that this policy could be implemented at a no cost or a very low cost. Thank you very much.
So maybe you wouldn't even provide them with data?
Please, the SRC is already providing us data.
But you know, most of the people there, sometimes they don't even benefit from these things. So in a case like that, what will you do? You will not pay them anything at all for their time? Anyway, don't worry. It's your policy, so you think about it. You take it home. So, two, the publicity and communications. You liaison with MIS to relay information to students. Do you think it is feasible?
Yes, please.
How?
Thank you very much. UCC in itself has evolved from the paper kind of a notice board kind of dissemination of information into a more electronic where our portals are more used frequently. Currently, if you open your portal, the first thing you see is service information. Our service information gives you all the information that the school wants you to get access to. Grasag can do that, SGS can do that, any other department can do that with respect to the students within that particular department. Thank you. It's very feasible.
Okay. I'm seeing something here. So let's go to welfare, governance, and finance. I think I've already talked about most of these things, and then I don't know if I should go over because there's the same thing. Because I said that the lobby for the lecture rooms and all these things, they are not new. I think I spoke to you about it the last time, that they are not new. And then you accepted that they are not new. So it's something that you are coming to continue. Maybe it is there, but you are going to talk more, like advocate more for these things.
So keep lobbying.
So you keep lobbying, okay. So a nice way of capturing it. So it is already there, but you keep lobbying. I think you should take notice of that. Please, your vice, Miriam.
Yes, please.
Yeah. 3 IV, no, I.
Okay.
You know why I shifted to you? Because it's about welfare.
Yes, please.
Okay. So you are going to expand the welfare packages?
Yes, please.
By reviewing the welfare policy of the association?
Yes, please.
Are you aware of the welfare policy?
Yes,
Have
please.
you read it now?
Yes, please.
So you know what is in there?
Yes, please.
So what is the current packages? What are the current packages?
Okay, so the first one is a package given to if a death of a member within the association, a bereaved person within the association, and then if a member is signed a note, and then also health-wise, hospitalized, and then other matters too as well.
What are some of the other matters?
Okay, so the other matters is what is not defined in the policy. So when it comes to the table or the desk of the welfare committee, there are certain packages they propose for the executive committee to agree to it, and then it has been done. Thank you.
You said executive committee. What is the executive committee?
Please, the executive council, sorry.
Oh, okay. And then, so what new thing are you bringing?
Okay, so in terms of we expanding the welfare packages by reviewing the welfare policy, what the new thing we are bringing on board is that what I realized is that everything was captured in a way that it was, let me put it this way, in terms of the health-wise, let me start from there. What I realized is it says when the person is hospitalized and then a letter is being brought. I understand with that aspect. And then that is when the welfare committee in collaboration with the executive council tries to come in and then help. So I asked myself, so what if I'm not hospitalized and then I'm suffering and then I write a letter to the board. Maybe in the month, there is some form of, let me say, you go for reviews. You pay an amount of money. We have people with cancers who visit the hospitals for chemos, and the others during weeks, and the others in doing that. So what if I'm not hospitalized? Meaning that you will not come and then visit me or what's called from the welfare the welfare policy. You visit people who are hospitalized, and even with that, when a letter has been written to notify them. So if I'm still not well and then I am not, let's say, admitted into the hospital, but I'm not well, so does it mean that the committee is not going to give us any form of financial support? Thank you.
Now, from what you are saying, I want you to be very real with yourself. Do you think what you are saying is feasible?
Yes, please. It is.
So, if every week we have about 30 people visiting, going for reviews, and we are going to give them, do you think it's feasible?
Okay, so one thing I would want to say in this aspect is that in terms of the feasibility aspect, we have some cases that exceed the other. So I think we'll have to look at those ones that need help. And then sometimes we can also seek for help from other sponsors as well in helping to cater so that we will have the sense of belongingness within an association. Thank you.
So who determines what is severe?
Please, I would say with this aspect, the chairperson of the welfare committee.
Is that so? How? So that person determines this is severe and that is not severe. So if I am that person's friend and then maybe I'm just suffering from headache, she can just say that because I am her friend, whatever I'm going through is severe. So who determines what is severe?
Okay, so in terms of determining what is severe, in as much as the welfare committee members are not doctors, we have reports on all the sicknesses, and then we can possibly read about them and the expenses that are attached to them. So that is where I'm coming from, please.
I don't want to prolong this because I think I'm talking too much, but I think you should look at it because the association is not in a good standing for this, your package. I'm not too sure about that, but about your new things that you are bringing on board, but I don't think we have enough money, so you should look at that. And then running the SGS 24/7. Is it 24/7? 24 hours during some periods in the semester, such as the examination period. But are you aware there's an office? You know you have an office. We have offices inside this building. Are you aware?
Yes, please.
You are aware.
Yes.
So how do you intend to do this?
Okay, thank you very much. What I have already done, I've already asked the current librarian about the level of patronage of the library and research commons, which have been beautifully furnished by SGS in collaboration with Grasag. Now, she speaks of the fact that most people are not even aware that the library and research commons is available, meaning that the beautiful place lays bare and under patronized. Now, looking at this policy, I actually consulted her that we have a research commons in the library. We have a whole library that runs 24 hours during the examination period. Can we do same for School of Graduate Studies, where we would have only postgraduate students coming into the library and research commons here to also use this wonderful facility? She said a big yes, because there are security systems within the School of Graduate Studies. And there's a security man, there are CCTV cameras, and the staff of the library will be willing to do such a thing in collaboration with the Executive Council of Grasag. So something like that could actually be done, and it's feasible.
That's fine. And then let's go to, you said you are going to pursue aggressive sponsorship. Are you going to, like, when I saw the aggressive, like, are you going to beat them or something? I don't know, but why? What is your definition of aggressive sponsorship drive?
Okay, thank you very much. So, pursue aggressive sponsorship drive for events of the association. So I'm looking at being more proactive and up to the task and being more persistent with respect to speaking to various stakeholders that can actually sponsor some of our programs and also gain benefits. Thank you.
So that is the aggressiveness. So you couldn't use any other word but aggressive?
It best qualifies what I'm looking at doing for the association.
No, but you use proactive here. So why would you want to use aggressive?
I use proactive in explaining this for you to understand.
You use, yeah, you use aggressive. Oh my. Anyway, but I think aggressive is too much harsh word. But anyway.
Thank you.
Yeah. Do you believe in collaboration?
Yes, I do.
Because most of the questions that I'm asking you, you are the president. You are aspiring to be a president. So as a president, most of the things that you do is collaboration. Because you don't have the power to do a lot. You have the power though, but then sometimes you don't even have the time. You delegate a lot of things. You collaborate with a lot of people. So when I talked about the partnership, in a way too, I was even expecting you to say that maybe I'm going to partner with the External Affairs Committee, with the Women's Commissioner, with something like that. Because I'm hearing a lot of I will talk to, I will do that. But then I want to see a lot of collaboration in your submissions. Yeah.
Thank you.
So why do you want to partner with local NUCs in the driving license and the birth certificates? Why local NUCs? Miriam, I think you can answer this.
Thank you very much.
No, I want Miriam to answer.
Okay, so the reason why we think we can partner with them is that they are already doing it. And since local news is part of the Student Representative Council, that is the one that the association is under, we deem it fair that when we collaborate with them, it will help us and then in doing it. Thank you.
So why don't you want to do it on your own? Because I think it would be a nice initiative that the Japan Miriam-led administration brought something new. They introduced. Why do you want to partner with Locano? Is it why do you really want to partner with them? Why don't you want to do it on your own? So why don't you go to the source and then, because as a matter of fact, our administration wanted to do something like that, but it's due to one or two things that we didn't do. But we're not going to partner with anybody. We even called a lot of people to come, we spoke to them and all that. So why don't you want to do it on your own? Why do you want to partner with Locanux?
Okay, thank you very much. So I believe in collaboration and partnership because sometimes you can institute something or bring up an initiative through other people. Local NUCs has been doing this for quite some time. They actually know this in total and they know what it actually entails to run such a program. As you already know, the coffers of Grasag is not as it used to be. Taking this upon ourselves to do it alone would not suffice anything extraordinary, but joining hands with an association which is also who is also a representative of the students' body, and doing something that you're already doing, I think will go a long way to help the association and ease the process. Thank you.
I would also advise that, personal advice, that in doing this, the association loses nothing. It's just advocacy and lobbying, that you're able to lobby the people to reduce the prices for your people. The association pays nothing in this, so I don't see why the funding should be an obstacle in doing this. So I think that it is something that you can take it up on yourself and then you do it, because local NUCs has been in this, and you said they know in total. It was one person that started it. And then now they have been running it for years. So why don't you also take it up on yourself and start it so that it become your own legacy? So maybe you should consider that.
Thank you.
I think I'm talking, but then the last one, then I hand the mic over to someone else. Aqua new sports kits for men and women. Is it a Grasag we don't have?
Okay, thank you very much. Aqua new sports kits for sportsmen and women. Aqua new meaning that there's some that we want to just acquire new ones to also support. So you can see the policy number II under sports, recreation and health. We are looking at setting up other sports teams in the various disciplines that Grasag is not being represented. So we will also get sports kits for such sportsmen and women. We'll also acquire training equipment for such teams. Thank you.
Yeah, so okay, so the new sports kits will be for the new people. Is that so? Because I know that we have enough, so I don't see why, if we are being cost effective, I don't see why we should purchase new ones. But then what we need is the training equipment. That's why we really need them, because even football we don't have. Sometimes you have to go to sports section to hire some of these things. So maybe you can consider that one more, prioritize the training equipment more than the sport kits.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. Kwabna and Miriam, thank you.
Thank you,
So you desire to lead an association as big as Grasag, and so we expect that you know certain things about the association. Not to go back to what she said, but then I feel most of the comments she gave about your policies, if there had been some consultations with the current executive council, just maybe we wouldn't be going back and forth with all that. So I think you can look into that and hopefully get a better one.
Thank you.
All right, so the vetting is in session. So I want to take some follow-up questions from your policy document before you move to the knowledge about the association. So I will leave it to my panel members if you have additional questions. All right, so you take one from Dr. Essien.
Okay, on page 3, welfare, governance, and finance. On the X, it's stated here clearly that boost patronage of the YouTube platform of the association to generate extra funds from viewership. And I want to know how you are going to do that.
Thank you very much. Chair, if you look at our academic policy, it talks about decentralizing the forums and symposium, meaning that we want to send some of them electronically. We want to do it on the net. Now, YouTube in itself can be monetized to make extra money for the association, meaning that as you are watching these videos, there will be ads running to and fro, and even TV UCC, while you're watching the vetting, you realize that ads are passing through, meaning that it's been monetized, the account has been monetized. So TV UCC is benefiting from I watching the video or you watching the video. So that is what Grasag is going to do. Usually we send some of these symposiums and seminars and forums online. It will be recorded and it becomes a reference material. You can easily go back to watch it at any point in time. The more people view, the more money you make. I realized that I watched one video with the research journey, and we have about 300 views, and I think it will go a long way if we keep pushing. Thank you very much.
You know the account is there, and always we visit the channel. But you say you boost it, so in this case, you are, I think you have a way that will lure people to come and watch or come and visit the website or the page. That's the way that I'm actually looking at.
Okay, thank you. So we ran together with the public relations officer that will be elected. We would run campaigns about our YouTube channel. We would advertise on the various platforms about YouTube channel. We would also push our videos on the YouTube channel as reference materials, as a way of also advocating or pushing people to visit that channel. Thank you.
And who are your target? Is it only the graduate students, or you have any target population that you are considering to come and watch the Ucc Grasag YouTube channel?
Okay, thank you very much. Since most of our videos will be related to more academic, we are looking at any academic person that is willing to go on our platform to actually watch some of our videos. Thank you.
Okay, last one. You said you set up a snack bar as a means of generating extra funds, and I like that. And I want to find out, have you spotted any joint or any place that when you are being given the the mandate as UCC Grasag president, will you initiate this idea?
Okay, thank you very much. So, as a team, we look at various areas that can be done. Example is the canteen within the School of Graduate Studies. But in coming up with a place to set up this, we'd have to do it together with the whole Executive Council and School of Graduate Studies Management. Thank you.
Mr. Japon and Miriam, I think so far we are moving. Right. I looked through your policy document and then I see that the 4.2, lobby for rooms at alumni, you know, anything that concerns the hall concerns me, so I would have to come in. Right. Lobby for rooms at alumni and Senate hostel in addition to Tvucc Trust Hall. I'm thinking that you mentioned alumni because you know both Tvucc Trust Hall and alumni are under the same management, right? So probably you are seeing it as a joint association of, you know, yeah. But you see, my problem is that looking through the policy, I don't know, maybe it escaped me. You've never mentioned anything that would enhance the hall and also make the life of the people living in the hall better. I don't know if it has escaped me. If you can point me to a point where something like that has been mentioned. Then.
Okay, thank you very much. Chair, if you pick my fifth thematic area, our fifth thematic area that has to do with sports, recreation, and health, there's a big mention of Tvucc Trust for in point I, where we say partner with the Tvucc Trust management to set up an infirmary in the Tvucc Trust Hall to cater to the healthcare needs of postgraduate students. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I just saw it. Thank you.
So you pick an additional question from the Deputy Speaker.
Okay, so there's a hanging question. I really want to ask, even before we move to the other sections. So I think that at the preliminary stage of your vetting, issues were raised about leadership experience, and I want to clear the air on certain things. So in an attempt to address it, the Vice President used a metaphor of learning disability, that she's using her field. So you can't say that a child has a disability if you've not given the child the task. So as a language person too, I'm inferring that you want to use Grasag as a trial. So you don't know your leadership skills, you don't know your capabilities. We should give you Grasag for you to use Grasag to test if you are capable as president and vice president. And seriously, I don't think that's what Grasag needs at this point. We don't need people who are now going to try. We need people who know and who believe that they have the skills, they have the experience, not trials. We've bypassed that stage. So I think you would really have to be conscious about it, or if there's something you'd want to say about what you said. Madam Vice President.
Okay, thank you very much. Please, I used that as an instance. What I was trying to say is that with the experiences that I'm exposed to, you can't just see me physically and then be like, I've not been exposed to this experience because I haven't partaken or been in the position of any of the associations within the institution. So that was where I was coming from. That is why I made that statement, please.
But have you had any experience in other associations?
Yes, please. I was part of the library committee member of the Ogwa Hall.
And that's on your CV? Is that on your CV?
Yes, please.
Thank you. All right, so I'll take over with the Constitution and other things. So I'm still staying with the Vice President. I don't know, but I want to engage you more. Thank you. So the welfare package, what is the scope of coverage for the welfare package?
Thank you very much for the question. So the scope of coverage for the welfare committee in terms of bereavement when you are bereaved and it's your child, if the member is part of the association, and then it's your child, one, and then two, your spouse, and then the last one is your mother.
So what I'm asking is, which people qualify to enjoy the welfare package? That's the scope of coverage.
Okay, thank you very much. So per what I read, the people that qualify for the welfare package are members of the association.
Okay, so that's an attempt. But then the immediate past executive council members, Senate chairpersons, and heads of standing committees of Grasag also qualify to enjoy from the welfare package. Have you read the policy?
Yes, please, I really did. I remember I read, so immediately you started, I got to know where you were coming from. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. So, Mr. President, you are the current deputy left bench leader for Grasag Senate. And so I believe that you know a lot about Senate.
I know something about Senate.
You know something about that's fine. So the Executive Council at some point can be summoned or requested to be at Senate to answer certain questions from senators. Briefly, run us through the procedure that the whole process goes through.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, Chair. The first thing that has to be done is the letter has to be addressed from the Senate Chair to the President of Grasag. Now, the letter has to stipulate why he or a member of the Executive Council is being summoned, the time he or she and the date he or she is being summoned, and specific reasons. Another thing that that will happen in Senate is the business committee, which I'm a part of, would come up with the agendum of the Senate meeting and indicate in a standing order that particular executive council member has been summoned. As the matters of business are ongoing within Senate, the executive council member will be called to answer those various questions. Thank you.
Okay, so though not entirely wrong, it's messed up. So the supposed senator who has a question officially writes to the business committee, which you are a part of, writes to the business committee, and then the business committee, in an attempt to address this and include it in the other paper, writes to the executive council, not the president, and then indicates the officers that are needed, the time, and all that. So,
thank you.
Okay, so in the Constitution, there is something called automatic resignation. What is, or what brings about an automatic resignation?
He's to the team, right? Thank you very much. So automatic resignation is where a member of the executive council absents himself or herself 2 months straight without any prior reason to the absence. Thank you.
Okay, so once again, not far from true,
Please,
but then, okay.
So without any ill health issue. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for the input. But I still maintain, once again, not far from the truth, but it's not restricted to executive council members, any officer. So even if as a Senate chair for 2 months, you don't show up for meetings, that can also happen to you. What is the percentage of senators that are needed for an emergency meeting, an emergency Senate meeting?
Thank you very much. For emergency, 20%, and then the full house, 30%. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much.
All right, so we are enjoying the conversation, and very soon you'll be heading to other aspects of our interaction. The next we want to look at is the job specification. So you have reviewed your policies and you have mentioned quite a number of items you want to bring on board. So through your policy, the caption, the third one, welfare, governance, and finance, you made mention of lobby for lecture rooms at the NLT and the seminar rooms in SGS to supplement it. That is what I saw. Are you aware of the current situation with lecture venues?
Okay, thank you very much, Chair. Yes, to an extent.
I want to know the extent to which you are inputting this policy.
Okay. It is an experience that I have had myself by visiting other programs in other departments in schools. I had a very sad encounter where PhD students were being sacked from a classroom for undergrads to take over. And that alone goes a very long way to hurt the association in itself, because PhD students are part of the association, and if they don't have a class to study, it becomes a very big problem. So as it stands now, I know some programs are struggling to have venues. Some programs even have to extend their lectures late in the night because of lack of lecture theaters, and it's a problem. I know that the current administration is working tirelessly to resolve some of these issues. We look at adding up to that. I keep lobbying. Thank you.
You're welcome. So for the purpose of records, you say some even go to the extent late in the evening, but you are not specific. How late is your late that you are talking about?
Thank you very much.
And you want to tell us a particular incident that you are referring to.
Okay, thank you very much. An example is clinical health psychology under the Educational Foundation, the Department of Educational Foundation. I have visited a class where they have lectures extending to 8 p.m. and looking at people who stay in far areas within campus like Amamoma, Kwapro, INS, deep into INS and all that. I was looking at the security nature of leaving, they have their classes at Old Site, leaving Old Site at that time, even getting a car from Old Site and now going to where your hostel is. I think it's a problem. I need not look at this policy as just getting lecture rooms, but it also comes with a security component as well. Thank you.
All right, so what is your justification? Did you find out from them? Because per my knowledge, we schedule our own timetable and the time that it is going to suit us, so that the lecturers will also make rooms for that. So what is your justification?
Yes, I spoke to a few of the class members that how come you are having lectures extending to 8 p.m. and he said it was because of lack of venue. Thank you.
That is what you had.
Yeah,
which day was that?
Within the semester. Chair.
Day.
I can't pinpoint the exact.
I mean a day within the week, not the date, but just a day.
It's on a Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Yes.
Do they go for lectures on Thursdays?
Yes, they do.
And Friday?
They don't go for lectures on Friday.
So how sure are you that they did not plan it themselves? I'm just saying this because we also scheduled our own during our time of coursework. You had a day that you do 9 hours. Possibly you even put some late online just to suit ourselves, not for the interest of the lecturers. So I will not want us to use this opportunity or platform to say that our lecturers are not doing the best, because the fault is coming from us. You want to finish within 3 days so that you have the remaining days to ourselves. So let's be careful with how we talk about issues when you are not having the real facts. All right, that is just by the way. So moving on, I want you to tell me your experience in a higher education administration. Your experience in higher education administration.
Okay, thank you very much for the question, Chair. As it stands now, I feel that the curricula that we are using, the various courses that we are offering with respect to my program is actually enlightening me in my specific area of study, especially because I am specializing in entrepreneurship, small enterprise development. Thank you.
So that is your experience in higher education in relation to the office you want to handle.
Okay. Grasag, as its mandate, organizes seminars and fora and a number of uh, symposiums and lectures to actually enhance the postgraduate studies. These things are done in consultation with the School of Graduate Studies and the Executive Council. So I think so far I've had experiences of e-resource and other lectures that are beneficial to every postgraduate student. Thank you.
All right, so you are still not getting my question. I mean your personal experience in regards to the rules of the president of the association. You hold it there. I want my next question so that you get that one clear and answer it for me. What is the highest tax of the president?
Okay, thank you very much. I know that the president is in charge of the administrative running of Grasag as an association, and also he is the representative and mouthpiece of the association on various committees and external committees. Thank you.
So the highest among it is?
Being the managing the administrative affairs of the association.
Of the association?
Yes, please.
All right. I'm not taking that as the highest tax. But because you have other aspirants coming, I may not want to give you the answer so that those watching us from afar will not get the clue. It may go to them too. But I believe there is the highest. What is the least of your duties?
Thank you very much. I would not say I would have a least duty because every duty that is being performed by the Grasag president is equally important. Thank you.
All right. So there is actually at least one. So I want to come to the vice president. What are the sources of income for the association for which you want to spend out of? Because you have stated a lot of packages for our dear students. So what are the sources of our income?
Thank you very much, Chair. One is through donations. Some are through gifts.
How different is donation from gift? You may proceed.
Another one is through the dues we pay. And then I think from the Constitution, what I read, the last one is windfalls.
I like where you always want to come from the Constitution. Do you know a bit about the Constitution and the current state of the Constitution?
Please.
Do you know the current state of the Constitution? Oh, you
No,
can take
please.
a call from me. You wanted to help you.
No, please.
You don't know. So why are you referring to the Constitution if you don't know?
Because it's a form of a guiding document for the association.
And you don't know the current state, but you want to refer from it. All right, so my last question to you, the vice president to be, or the running mate, how will you improve the quality of education?
Thank you very much for the question, please. Chair, one way that I would help in collaboration with the other executives in improving of quality education of graduate students of the association is I'm going to quote from our mission and then our vision. So with our vision, we want to create a vibrant and an inclusive community that seeks to nurture intellectual curiosity, support research endeavors, and then as well help in the general welfare of the community. So one way we are going to do that is through our policy, the thematic areas of our policies that we have. That is in terms of academics and research, the welfare, governance, and the others. Because when we talk about welfare of the students includes all these areas that we have captured in our policy. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. But do you know about the WH line of questioning? You have why, where, what, how. My question was how. You didn't answer the how. You've stated a lot of things without touching the how. So how are you going to do it?
Okay, thank you very much. So with the how, as I said, in terms of the inclusive community, that stays from our mission. One way we are going to do that is that most of the time we include we consider the supposedly normal people in our implementation of our administrations in the association. And this time around, the inclusive that I'm bringing in is that I want us to also consider those who are the graduate students with disabilities in it. So that is one way that we want to do it. I would want to give an instance. So in terms of organizing seminars and then the others, or presenting seminars, let's say when we want to have it physically with the students there. One way, let's say if we have a visually impaired, not total, but the ones with low vision in that meeting or in the association or where the program we are organizing the seminars for. One way we can do that is either we get the print, we print whatever we are going to present to them in a large font that they would have a full first-hand information of it before coming to the class for it to be projected. And in projecting, so if we can help, we can do that by also enlarging the font of it to help them also have that form of sense of belongingness within the association. Thank you.
You've said a lot, but I would say it is not carrying any weight because we are just beating about the bush. We are not hitting it. We are talking about maybe you did not get the subject line or the subject sentence. I'm looking at quality education and the way you are going to improve quality education. You started by talking about seminar. You ended by large something so they can read from it. I wasn't getting any answer from you. Maybe you want to say, you said something, but I did not hear, so you want to repeat it. But I will not want to take extra questions from you.
Please.
I hope I'm fair. Or you want to say something?
No, please.
And maybe the president will want to help you with that question. So, Mr. President, how will you improve the quality of our education?
Thank you very much. So, as you were saying, we're going to do in collaboration with the Executive Council and that of the SGS. We are going to keep the advocacy for the e-resource that is already being organized. We are looking at having lectures on how to write articles for publication. We are even going to have training on grantsmanship. We have going to organize training on the use of statistical tools. And these are things that is very important and key in the life of a postgraduate student, including even running the School of Graduates Library and a research room 24 hours in some periods. Thank you.
I would say I'm impressed with your response because that is what we are looking out for as academic students. That is what we are supposed to touch on. So it's just an advice to you and to other aspirants.
Thank you very
Let's
much.
look at the quality of our education. It's very key. So if you have it, if you have that in your policy, look at how innovative you make that work. We are currently facing, I'll say, challenge with submission of our thesis, writing of our thesis, supervision. In your own capacity, what has been your thought and your initiative to help reduce the challenge? That is my final question to you.
Okay. Thank you very much, Chair. As a team, we would commend the School of Graduate Studies for trying to move the submission of thesis online. During the e-resource seminar, we had the privilege of getting access to how the system is going to work. If this is what School of Graduate Studies is going to do, I think it will go a very long way in helping curb such a situation in submitting thesis, because now it's going to be online. The IRB is also coming up with a system called the Rhino software, where now you can even track your progress of your IRB. And these are things that I'll keep advocating for it to work. I would also look at pushing more seminars for the postgraduate students.
All right. I hope you are aware of the saying that it is easier said than you want to complete it. It is easier said than
done.
Okay. So you just want to impress us. So you have a lot of vibes, and you tell us, but how reality is these things going to be? Is what we are looking out for.
Yes.
So when the mandate is given to you, I believe you are supposed to adhere to whatever you are saying and to the views of your people. My last question, I initially said last, but I have another last. So the last of last. You made mention of a data package, and you know where Grasag is coming from before joining this. Are you aware students have not received their package for some period of time?
Yes, Chair. I'm very much aware. I took it upon myself to actually inquire when students had not yet had their package for this month. Information that I got was the current SRC is looking at reviewing the package, and the previous package, or the current package that we know as it is 3 gig data with about 200 or 300 minutes of talk time. They want to increase it to about 5 gig. I'm sure that they've heard the complaints of students since they are representative of the students' body. They've heard our voice because we complained about how small that package was, especially for us as postgraduate students. I hear they are increasing that package to 5 gig, and I think it's a very laudable thing in the current administration of the SRC. Another thing that I also know, which I have had talks with the current Grasag president about, is the fact that those who were not on the system or on this package, there was a provision made where you send an email to Grasag stating your number and that you have not been added to the package. He told me that just a handful of people looking at the data he has, and all these people will be added in upcoming months. Thank you.
So you want to applaud them for what they have done?
Yes, very much.
Very much.
Yes.
For which they have denied us of our 3 gig. The increment, you have not received it. You want to applaud them for what they have done?
Yes, so I'm applauding for the initiative. I cannot say into detail the processes they are going through, but the initiative I would applaud. Thank you.
Don't you think you are supposed to receive the 3 already? Then you will be hoping for the extra 2 in addition than for you to delay us, because we have planned for that. And just as we said students will be having bundles and they have this and that, for which you want to do a lot of seminars via social media or something. This is the case. Students are even not receiving the 3, but you want to increase it. All right. It's just a dialogue with your own standing. I do not expect you to give me an answer or something.
Thank you
all right,
very
so
much.
you move on to the next session of the questioning. And with that, our dear sister is leading us through.
Hi, Kobna and Miriam.
Hello.
I hope you're fine.
Yes, we are doing good.
Okay, Kobna, you said you worked with College of Distance Education, right?
Yes, please.
Which unit?
Examinations unit.
Okay. Can you tell me what duties you performed at the examination unit?
Okay, thank you very much. So, I think my CV talks through a little light on such administrative duties. For examinations unit, I was made in charge of quiz marking and examination taking. Now, quiz marking is when the quiz papers that have been deployed for answering by the various code students come back to exams unit for marking. Now, what I used to do was, together with the national service persons of the previous national service persons of examinations unit, we group them according to the various programs, since they come in centers, meaning that different programs are being mixed up from from the different envelopes. So we group them into the various programs for easy identification and marking. We work on marking schemes together with our bosses and various lecturers. I also supervise the thorough marking of these quiz papers. When it comes to examination taking, there's a process where after the exams has been marked by the various tutors and the various lecturers, it comes for us to check if the marks being allocated for a particular student is what the student deserves. It could be an increase in mark or a reduction in mark, and I was in charge of that supervision together with certain staff of code. Sorry. Thank you.
You're welcome. And you know there is an office called the Grasag office for students.
Yes, I'm very much aware.
What do they do?
Okay, so Grasag is the representative of all distance students, especially undergraduates, since Grasag also represents the distance students who are pursuing their postgraduate studies. So Grasag is their, I would say, their students' representative body. Thank you.
Okay. One last question from the distance education. You know they have electoral commissioner committee. Do you know that?
Unfortunately not.
You don't. Then I don't think you can answer this my question. Okay, Miriam. So the University of Cape Coast has four broad divisions, four broad overlapping divisions. We have the academic division, and then we have a central administration division. Can you give me the other two?
Thank you very much. The next one is the support service, then the last one, Dean of Students.
Okay, thank you very much. So what does the Dean of Students do?
Okay, thank you very much. One mission of the Dean of Students is to help in the development of the success and then the welfare of students. That's the junior common members of that.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. My next question is on sexual harassment. Are you okay?
Yes,
when a student has been sexually harassed, he or she goes through a process. We have the informal and the formal process. Under what circumstance would there be a need for the formal process?
Thank you very much for the question. I think one way that please, the question again.
I'm saying that I'm a student who has been harassed sexually. With the sexual harassment complaints, we have the formal approach and we have the informal approach. Most of the times we use the informal approach. Do you understand? So under what circumstance will the committee call for a formal approach?
Thank you. So I think one way is when the problem was unable to be solved at the informal way.
No, please, come again.
Please, I want to say something. Per my knowledge, or what I know, in reading, I didn't notice anything like the formal and then the informal. So let me put it this way. But I think I'm a bit abreast with the processes involved in wherever I read the sexually harassment committee from.
so let me tell you one of the cases. So one of the cases can be when the person in question's security is at stake. You call for the formal approach. So let me ask you the next question. You know the sexual harassment committee, they are supposed to serve for 3 years. Do you get it? Do you know that?
Yes, please.
Good. When their time is about to end, someone informs the Vice Chancellor's office that, oh, the committee is supposed to end. Who informs the Vice Chancellor's office, and how many months prior notice is given?
Please, no idea.
No idea. Okay, my last question. The Sexual Harassment Committee is a 7-member committee. Can you mention at least 2 people who belong to the committee?
So, thank you very much for the question. We have a member representing the students, and then we also have a member from the Union Association of the members.
Thank you very much.
All right, so you want to pick extra questions from Doc? All right, so you have a follow-up question. All right, Doc, you have to finish.
All right, Kwabena and Miriam. I'll come back to the hall again. Right. I like the hall, don't mind me. Right. You stay in the hall.
Yes, Doc.
That's your first year of staying in the hall.
Yes, Doc.
How is it like?
So far, so good. It's not, in as much as it's not the 100%, I'd say I'll give the hall about an 80.
An 80.
Yes.
Right. We will take that as right. Was it difficult for you to get accommodation at the hall?
For me, no.
For you, no. Is it because you're a special person?
I won't say. Since I've been in the university for quite some time, I stayed my 4 years in Kwame Nkrumah Hall, so I'm kind of used to the processes you have to go through to get accommodation in a hall. So I applied early, and I think that contributed to me getting. So I was notified on time, and I also made payments to get access to.
Right. So then do justice to this one for me quickly, so that the other people who are watching, who are graduate students, will probably know how to get into the hall.
Okay, Doc.
What is the process if you want to stay in the hall? What processes do you have to go through?
Okay. The first thing that is the most mandatory thing is that you should be a postgraduate student. So for me, I had enrollment into MCOM entrepreneurship, and I had my admission letter attached to the letter. I had also paid my full fees, so I was a student, but I was yet to receive my index number. The hall was very lenient enough since I was first year. Just let me just attach my admission letter to the letter. So what the letter contains is your address. You address Valco Trust. It's addressed to the Hall Master of Valco Trust. I told them the reason why I want to be in the hall, and that was it. So I took the letter envelope, sent to the administrative office of Valco Trust, as the general office, and I waited for my response. Thank you.
Right. So you didn't go through any correspondence?
No, Doctor.
You just applied?
I just applied.
Right. I wanted to hear that. Right. Let me end with on a lighter note, so that you like football.
Not so much.
Maybe I'll ask you something on football. You know the World Cup grouping just came out. It came out.
Yes, it did. It did.
Are you okay?
I'm perfectly fine.
Okay. So can you mention any two countries that we are in a group with?
Okay, so we have Mali and Madagascar in Group I.
Okay, that's
Thank
fine.
you.
Thank you.
All right, so you pick extra questions from the deputy speaker.
Okay, thank you very much. Listening to your submissions and answers to the questions, I deduced that our vice presidential aspirant is one who is very passionate about inclusivity. Maybe it can be from the fact that she's a special education student, so it's so visible. Okay, and you have plans when it comes to including people with special needs and all that. As the vice president, you are second in command. Do you know that?
Yes, please.
Having all these great plans, great visions, why not president?
Thank you very much for the question. Okay, so the reason why I joined him is because his vision and mission were in line with my drive as an individual person. So I felt his vision and mission in terms of in addition with the policies, would help me collaborate with him and then in bringing my idea on board as well. Thank you.
Prior to joining Team Japan, what was your mission and vision?
Okay, so my mission and vision from this was about how we are going to continue the inclusive education, special education as preaching about.
Okay, so often we see that the vice presidents are people who, let's say, they are somewhere, and then the presidents will come and say, oh, so if he hadn't spoken to you about being a vice president or his running mate, would you, Miriam, take your position in Grasag on your own?
Beginning of the semester, if I'm going to be frank, I'd wanted to.
Which semester?
That was last semester. I had wanted to. So along the line, the truth is, let me put it this way. I don't really like to be in it.
Emotional support.
There is nothing like emotional support. You allow her to express herself.
Yeah.
So as I said, beginning of the semester, I had wanted to, but I thought through, and then I thought, why don't you mind your business? That was what I thought through. But I decided I was going to have a way by joining a committee in the Grasag Association, where I know with that place I can also voice out my views that can be put into consideration.
Okay, so looking at your CV and even what you just said now, I think you are someone who wants to work behind the scenes. So why vice president? Because you were the secretary for the library hall committee. Now you had wanted to. That means you forgot the idea. You abandoned the idea to find a committee in Grasag to help, to voice and to bring up your inclusivity. So why vice president? Because you can be a committee secretary or something.
Thank you very much. I agreed to be part of him because, one,
to join the team, you're not part of him as a person, please.
Sorry, please. To join the team because, one, I felt if I'm having this opportunity, then I think I can come on board with my views as well. Early on, as I said, beginning, I didn't have any kind of support or I spoke with people, but I felt you are going to be left alone. So being at my one corner and then Japan coming, oh, I want you to be part of my team, this and this and that. I felt it was a big privilege, an opportunity that would have supported him.
My last thing. So you are comfortable now because there is another person. You are comfortable now because there is a Japan who is also on this mission with you. You can't always have your president around you. Do you know that?
Yes, please.
So at a point where you are supposed to represent the association as a vice president, would we have to find an emotional support for you?
Okay, thank you very much. No, please. This is because, as I said earlier, I had the drive to be part of any or to contest for the position of the association. In as much as I've agreed to be part of the team as serving as the vice, if he's not around, that doesn't mean I can't do the work. So I had the drive in me, but he helped me bring it out. So if it's not there, now it's out, so I can be able to do whatever duties that has been made for it.
Do you know you can destroy what you create? As in, if I develop a software right now, I can find a way to hack it, do everything. Even people who don't create it still have access to do certain things to it. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, please.
So you had it, it died, he rekindled it. He can still find a way to dampen you.
No, please.
How can you be so sure?
I can be so sure. One way is that now I have the mandate and I wouldn't have to always have him to be able to carry out my duties.
Okay, Japan, please, if Miriam decides to, if tables were reversed, would you have been her vice president?
Thank you very much. What I believe in is actually supporting somebody's vision and mission and drive. I was moved by my drive, I was moved by my vision, I was moved by my mission. And looking through the various postgraduate students within the UCC enclave, I aligned myself with Miriam because we had a shared vision. I was looking at somebody that had her own understanding and her own mind and wanted to bring somebody on. I just didn't want to have a handbag that I just carry along with me just because I'm going for a position. It could be that tables would have 10, right? But unfortunately, tables are not 10. I was the one who actually went to see her, to join me in this wonderful journey, to help postgraduate students in the association get to a certain point as they have already been. So I wouldn't say the tables would have 10. Thank you.
You didn't answer. It's a conditional clause. If tables were reversed, would you?
As far as the person shares the same vision and mission as I have. Thank you.
Would have. Thank you.
Okay, so this is to you, Japan. Just one question.
Okay.
You know you'll be part of council.
Yes, please.
And you know convocation.
Yes, please.
What is the difference?
Thank you. Unfortunately, I do not know the difference.
So, for those that will be coming, I don't want to say the answer. You go and look for them. Thank you.
All right, so on that note, you bring this session to an end. We want to give you the opportunity to submit, if you have any question, to us, or if you have any view to us. It's just an opportunity.
Okay, thank you very much. We are very grateful for this opportunity to be vetted for the position of the Grasag presidency. In as much as people would say it's a strenuous process, I think it's very important to actually think out, to know those who are fit for the job. I believe that this would keep going on. I also thank you for a massive job, and I actually enjoyed this conversation. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. So as you leave, what is going to be your feeling if the result comes and you are disqualified?
Okay. As it stands now, I'm very poised and confident that we have delivered. In as much as we couldn't answer every question, I know that we've done our best as a team, and we're hoping for the best. I don't think we will be disqualified. Thank you.
I mean, what is going to be your action? Or how are you going to take it?
Honestly, I don't know yet.
You should know, as the president, there will be times that you'll be denied, even when you go to council and you want to put the petitions of your people on the table. They will deny it. So you should know when to accept, how you are going to accept it. You should know that level of...
Yes, so I'm as a person and as a poised leader, I am prepared for everything, but I also hope for the best. Thank you.
You're welcome. On that note, you end this session. So the interaction was between the panel members and Team Japan in the person of Japan, Kabana Japan, and Miriam Frimpong. You will have a quick break from here and have another session after the break with the remaining team members. You have Team Sadiq and Team Michael, who will be joining us later in the day. Enjoy the rest of your time with us. Thank you.
Thank you, the chair. This, remember, is Tvucc, and of course we are transmitting live from the Seminar Room 3 of the School of Graduate Studies of University of Cape Coast. If you have not subscribed to our channel, you know I'll say this. Subscribe to our channel. Collectus, Robert, thank you, gentlemen, for staying with us. I can see you. I'm picking a couple of your messages before we go for that break. Augustus, Team Japan, Samuel, brilliant answer to the snack bar. Samuel continues to say Team Japan. Seydou comes in to say that I'm waiting for Team Sadiq. Ebenezer, Yabua, allow Sadiq. And Seydou comes in again, allow Sadiq. A lot of messages coming in here. Some more. Team Japan has proven to us all they are the best people for the job. Ebenezer comes in again. Team Sadiq, quite interesting. So you can also keep yours coming. For now, we'll break for about 10 minutes. And of course, we'll come back here and continue. We have two nominees, two teams to be precise for the presidential position. Do stay with us and enjoy the rest of our programs. This is Tvucc. Thank you for staying with us.